All right. Well, bad news for the flu shot because a new Cleveland study found that the vaccine did not prevent influenza. Quite the contrary, actually. Those who took it were more likely to get infected. So, you know, when you talk to people, that old wives' tale, oh, don't get the flu shot, it causes the flu. Turns out that the data supports that. Here is the study. Seek it out for yourself. It was published by doctors from the Cleveland Clinic, but it has not yet been peer reviewed because the data set goes through March 26th. So it's only a few days old. It pertains to the 2024-2025 vaccine that you can still get if you want to. The employees of the Cleveland Clinic were required to get the flu shot, so 82% of them did, and they followed 53,000 employees. Here's what they found. It shows that at first they were all getting the flu at an even pace, but over the course of the study, the cumulative incidence of influenza increased more rapidly among those who took the flu shot. In an analysis adjusted for age, sex, clinical nursing job, and employment location, the risk of influenza was significantly higher for the vaccinated compared to the unvaccinated. Now, they do say within the first 70 days, pretty much no one was getting the flu, but that's not to say that the vaccine wanes because the unvaccinated were also not getting it. So we can't sort of take that away. When they discuss their limitations, they say this, that the vaccine was the 3-valent inactivated influenza vaccine in about 99% of the study. And it's possible that other influenza vaccines may have been more effective and cannot be excluded. The problem is that this is the case for every flu vaccine because vaccine makers come up with the formulation of the vaccine in the spring before each flu season, which is the fall, and they make their best guess as to which strains to include that they think will be prevalent in the future. They're forecasting. They can never accurately predict what will be that strain. Like the COVID vaccine, every time they pushed out a new one for a new variant, that variant was no longer present. They could never really know. Now, a few weeks ago, the FDA approved the 2025-2026 vaccine, and the FDA recommends that it contains these strains here. Well, if you pause this and then compare it to the strains that are circulating now, this is the data for April of 2025. They're basically saying that in 2025-26, put the strains in that are circulating now. They're using the ones that are in effect now, that people are getting right now. So they can't vaccinate for future mutations because they can't travel to the future yet. So we never really know. And it's worth noting that the annual flu vaccine does not go through clinical trials. Also, it is not tested. It is never tested as to whether or not it stops influenza. All they ever do is test the antibodies in the blood of the creatures that receive it. So from this study alone, it's clear we need more research about why do we mandate the flu vaccine if it is this ineffective and may in fact make people more likely to get the flu. So let us know what you think of that.